So I wanted to share with you guys about how I see art and life as being the same. Most of what I talk to you guys about on this channel is kind of similar because it's so important to me and to how I create. Hey, I wanted to show you guys this list. This is a list of ideas that I've asked them to throw out words or images they'd like to see me paint, or they just are interested in themselves to paint. I've got seahorses on here, kangaroos, fruit, airplanes, helicopters, lamps, ceiling fans, cat on head, elephants, puffin penguin. Tried some puffin and penguins, those were pretty fun. What I don't do a lot of is fruit. I don't do a lot of airplanes or helicopters. I might try something like that today. We'll see what happens. I have my watercolors here. As you can see, I keep a pretty narrow palette. I don't put a lot of colors out. I'll put a list of the watercolors I use. They're Winsor Newton. I have one spot where there's white gouache, which I don't use very often. It's an opaque watercolor. I might do some demos of gouache in coming videos. For now, we're working with transparent watercolor, and I think I'm going to do that airplane that somebody recommended. I'm going to turn on my camera again, and I'll be right back with you. Back. My goal here is not to do something realistic, because that's just not my cha-cha. Other people may really enjoy that, and I can appreciate that. I tried to do that in the past and had a marginal amount of success, but I did notice that it just was not lighting me up. It didn't feel as spontaneous for me. It can feel totally spontaneous for you, but for me, not so much. I'm sopping up a little of this watercolor so that it's a little bit less bleedy and puddly. The other thing you can do with this is pull back an area by using some paper towel. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of this out of the middle here, where that cockpit is. And I have to tell you, I really dislike this. This happens often when I start a painting. I just cannot tell you how much I want to start a new painting instead of going forward with what I've got. What I can tell you is I'm going to go forward anyway, and I'm really grateful to have this happening, because this is how art is like life. You know, we move out, we start doing something, and then we have all these thoughts that come up that say, nah, let's not do that, or we feel scared to do something. And those feelings are coming from our thoughts in the moment. We have some sort of commentary about what's going to happen next, when in fact we really don't know what's going to happen next. So I'm going to keep going with this piece of artwork, even though I have thoughts saying that I don't like it. It's none of my business what my thoughts are doing or what my feelings are doing at this moment. I am painting of an airplane, and we'll see what happens as we go along. I have got so much cat hair in my watercolors. I just don't understand how that happens. Enjoy the texture of the hair and the paint. I know these airplanes and their occupants are fairly naive, and that's so interesting to me. Usually what happens when I try something new, I check it out on Google or Pinterest and see what a plane would actually look like. But in this case, I just started painting. And maybe making something that's a little more naive is a good thing. At this time, it feels like a good thing, even though I do have the inevitable thinking coming up telling me how I'm supposed to be an artist with experience and I should be able to do blah blah blah. So I've got some airplanes here. I'm looking at this and thinking, still don't like it. Maybe this time it's about how art and life are the same. Even when your art's not looking like what you think you might like, you can still enjoy the process of moving forward with it. And life can be like that too. We don't always get to see what's coming or what we think we might like, whatever plan we have. Art and life are parallel journeys. This right here is Tucker. He's not being very talkative right now, but don't let that fool you because he is quite boisterous when he wants something. And Riley, I wanted to show you guys this one thing I do when I'm doing watercolor and using my hairdryer. After I get my paint on the paper, I take my hairdryer, I dry the front and get it mostly dry, and it starts to buckle up. So what I'll do is I'll turn it backwards like this, after the paint's pretty much dry, and dry the other side and kind of unbuckle it and put it back down. That helps to flatten it out a little bit. It doesn't completely fix it, but it makes it a little flatter to work on. So I got to this point where I couldn't visualize what else would help this painting look like an airplane. So I've gone onto Pinterest to kind of look around to see what would make the difference with this painting. And I realized that I need some little feet coming off here holding the wheels. So that's what I'm doing now. This appears to be a race. Lots of scribbling going on here. This is an idea I have with most paintings, is to add a bird, or 2 or 3 or 5. I added a little bit of watercolor around where the propellers are, and I'm just going to leave that for now. I might, when it dries, come in with a white pen and do a little bit in there to kind of make it look more like what it's supposed to look like. I put some little eyeballs on the birds. This one, she likes to put her foot in the paints. A small problem to have. There's too much cuteness to do anything about it. So once again, how art is like life. Sometimes we don't like the way things turn out. Sometimes they're downright a bummer. And we keep moving ahead in the moment. The more we can stay present with what we're doing and enjoy the process, or even be present with the discomfort, and realize that all these things are transient, that everything's moving, that if there's something you don't like now, things will change. They're actually changing right in the middle of where you are. So great to see you guys. Love to hear your comments in the section below. If you have any questions, anything that you want to talk about, let's have a chat. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. One more thing, I'll put my link to my website below for subscribing to my email. I send these out about once a week. They link to the videos I'm doing, talk a little bit about what's been happening during the week, and I do plan on doing some sort of art group or club or class at some point in the future. I'm not sure when that'll happen. I will certainly talk about it here when it starts to formulate. A big learning curve there too, so we'll see. I've appreciated you guys being here again, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.